Mark Max Muscle wins. He picked Regan Grimes to win. I went to FedEx and sent you your amino acids yesterday from I Prevail Subs. I hope you like. What did I send you? Strawberry lemonade, strawberry lemonade, something like that. So I sent that out to you. To be honest
with you, I use flavorless.
Really?
Put it right in my water, so a flavor will be a treat to me.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, how close was Mark though? Like in comparison to what he actually picked.
All right,
just out of curiosity.
Well, we basically just picked Mark because he got Regan right, but he had Regan 1, Nathan 2, Roman Fritz was 3. Did Roman Fritz come in 3rd?
No. Roman Fritz came in 5th, dude.
Really? No, somebody else was there.
Who came in 3rd?
Theo LaGuerrier.
Oh, no. Right. Was it Theo?
No,
was it Tim Budasine?
Tim.
I think
it was Tim, and Theo came in 4th, right?
He was shredded.
And Shumin Yan came in.
He was outside of the top 5.
And then Pablo Escobar. Yeah,
outside of the top 5. Yeah.
All right. So basically, we just gave it to you because Regan, you're the only one who had Regan women.
Well, I should get bonus points.
Okay.
What do you mean bonus points?
Hear me out now.
Okay.
I said in my prediction video, I said that Regan's going to win, but I said it's going to be a ripoff.
No, but you won. We already declared that you won.
Yeah, but no, but I mean, I might have got the other ones wrong, but I actually said that Nathan's probably gonna win, but Regan, they're gonna give it to Regan, because Nathan's already qualified.
Yeah, and I did a whole video on it when I did the wrap up, because Nick Strength of Power said he didn't think that there was any, shenanigans going on. And I said, bullshit. Of course there is.
Well, he made that video about the bumps in his back, for goodness sake.
I saw that. Yeah. But
bumps that he's had since
forever. I know.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think that Regan's 1.9 million followers on Instagram isn't a serious, push to have him there at the Olympia, I don't know what else, because everything revolves around social media numbers. And let's not forget that, and I said this in my video, let's not forget that Jake Wood supposedly took a bath at the Masters Olympia. And I heard from rumors that he actually lost in the 7 figures.
Okay.
So you don't think that he wants, and people go, the judges, Jake Wood wasn't a judge. You don't think Jake Wood has an influence? The owner of the Olympia? You don't think he has any influence, right?
So you say, did you say Nathan won?
Yeah, I said I thought Nathan.
And so did I.
And I said it was. I said it was close enough where they could pick Regan, so both of them go to the Olympia.
Oh, in that sense, dude. When I put my video out,
so you don't necessarily say it's a total ripoff, then?
No, I don't think it was a total ripoff. You can make that argument. Do I think Nathan should have won? Absolutely. Do I think they wanted Regan there? Do I think they wanted Regan there for other reasons besides him legitimately winning? 100%.
It wasn't a total ripoff. It was arguable when it came to certain poses. But at the end of the day, did Nathan win that competition as compared 100%. To Regan strictly when it comes to the overall physique, presentation, everything? Dude, Regan was sweating bullets at one point there during pre-jet. Like, he was sweating bullets, man. Like,
Regan did not win one front shot or one side shot. Period.
Back shots, 100%. Nobody will question the back shots. Nobody's questioning the back shots. But everything else was questionable, especially in terms of overall conditioning and detail. There's no question.
Absolutely. And it wasn't like Nathan's back was shit, right?
No.
So
his X-frame is fantastic, dude.
Yeah. And they didn't look much different from Italy. So, I mean,
no.
If you're going to pick, my argument was, if you're going to pick Regan Grimes to go to the Olympia, and he has 1.9 million followers on Instagram, and that's only Instagram. God knows what he's got on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and blah, 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 right? That means that much more ticket sales. That means that much more live stream buys, right? And
but is it a downside if he doesn't do well? What if he shows up and what if he comes in last again?
But it doesn't matter because if he has that kind of a following, if he has that kind of following, they're still gonna buy the live stream, and live stream is where they're gonna make their money, because the ticket sales are gonna be a ticket sales no matter what. Only the hardcore really go to but I buy the live stream. We all buy the live stream, and if he's got that many followers, that's gonna be that many people that are going to, even if you get 25% of those people, because they're huge Regan Grimes fans, and he's going to be at the Olympia. They're going to pay whatever the $50 or whatever it is, so on and so forth. And you think that you think that doesn't come into play. Every aspect of business revolves around social media numbers. Period. End of story. I mean, it's not even close. It's not even close. You know, it's ridiculous.
Well,
so
when it comes to that competition, most out there were of the same opinion, and not just fans, but other YouTubers. You heard them, the vast majority. In fact, I'm trying to think of one that said otherwise, that had Regan or Nathan winning kind of thing. Not many, dude.
Desktop showed a good side-by-side video footage.
Yes,
he did. Right. Yeah,
that's your best. That's your best estimation. See, when I do the pictures, it did show that Nathan was hands down better condition from the side.
Yeah,
better condition from the front. From the back, it was close, but when you watch the video footage, Nathan was in better condition from the back.
Absolutely. Nathan, yeah.
Yep. Nathan should have won. Nathan should have won.
100%. You know, I think Regan, I think he seems to be like he was maybe 2% better in Spain than he was in Italy. I think he'll probably be even better at the Olympia. But
if he's gonna show up.
Regan?
Yeah.
No, Nathan. Nathan might not show up.
Nathan might not show up because he was really pissed off.
No. Regan will be there. And
Nathan,
I like
Nathan can't
everything.
Yeah.
But you know, he was acting a little bit
unsportsmanlike.
Even you said during the event, Kenson, you said he was acting like a whatever.
I said he was acting like a dick because I mean,
I didn't want to put words in your mouth, but do you think that the judges might have been looking at that and said, "Geez, if that guy, if you're acting like a total shoving people around, they're probably
well. All right, tell me. Say this is news to me. Tell me what happened.
He wasn't shoving people, but I mean,
no.
What was he doing? Like looking over at the other guy, or?
It was like the ending in particular was where he just was on stage shocked. I don't know if you saw that, John.
When Nathan his really pissed off.
His reaction at the end. But even after prejudging, like when they asked everybody to get off stage, that's probably what you're referring to, Mark. He was he pointed out the fact that Regan was obviously sweating and how dry he was and things like that, right? Not thank you, gentlemen. Everybody leaves. There were things that he had to throw in there,
Right.
Everybody knows
he was
what
taking
kind of guy
shots.
Nathan is, though.
He
was, right? And that's what he does.
He didn't congratulate Regan. Yeah. I heard.
No.
Milo said he didn't congratulate him.
Yeah, I did
see that they did say something in where Regan put up the latest video, and somebody asked in the comment section about that, like, hey, what's your thoughts on what went on with Nathan, right? And he said that he definitely didn't show the same respect that Regan did when it came to the weekend before that in Italy.
Right.
But he said they talked after, and they were cool. So who knows?
Regan seems to have a pretty good attitude for bodybuilding. Not everybody has that.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
Oh, good point.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Ian didn't have the best attitude. He would fight with guys sometimes.
Ooh, you're right.
Especially on social media too. Like, really, dude?
That's what I mean. That's childish. You imagine Lee Haney fighting with people on. That's what I got the feeling when I seen Phil Heath fighting with Nick Strength and Power. I'm like,
it's like, dude, Phil, come on,
you're an Olympia champion.
Yeah, you're the star. Yeah. Ignore it.
William Bonac and Louis Marco when William Bonac threatened Louis Marco. Yeah,
just you're the star.
Come
on. All of us who became YouTubers because we couldn't hack it as a bodybuilder.
No, I couldn't hack it as a wrestler.
Okay, I mean that's just the God's honest truth. But anyway,
or a bodybuilder.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is all good for bodybuilding because if Nathan decides that he's going to do the Olympia, which I think he should, then everybody's going to be talking about the rivalry. Will Nathan beat him at the Olympia? Will Regan actually decisively beat him at the Olympia? Everybody, it won't be just who's gonna beat Hottie, or who can't beat Hottie, or who's gonna be in the top 5. But now you have other rivalries within that possible top 10 that's worth talking about, and it's all good for bodybuilding. Don't think they don't know this. You know what I mean?
Think Nathan will be there?
I would hope so. I think he's going to be there. In my opinion, I think he's going to be there because he already said that he was thinking about retirement in the next, couple of years, and he won Italy, and everybody believes he won Spain, so he deserves to be there, and he should be there. And if I were him, I would be there and use this as ammunition for at least to beat Regan. Like my goal would to be to bury Regan at the Olympia. That would be my goal.
To be honest with you, I think there's going to be guys between them.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter because as long as you're ahead of him,
he's going to be in better condition. He's going to be in when it comes to the Olympia lineup too, the condition means
everything. It's not even close. I mean, they're not going to break the top 6. I mean, they're not even going to break the top 8. If they
no, they're not. But that's the story portion that you're talking about, and there are so many stories going into this year's Olympia.
That's right.
Derek Lunsford in his second year as well, I mean, we don't got to get into every single detail, but I mean, Derek's in, Rami's out, Crizzo's improved, Regan versus Nathan. Justin Shire and Brett Wilkin, but Ian's out. Yeah, I mean, Beirut Tabani, if he gets his visa, what's that gonna? There's so many this entire bodybuilding season has fantastic. Produced so fantastic. Good. So good.
It really is. I think this is one of the best times of bodybuilding, period.
I agree, man.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic because the social media stuff. I mean, listen, I'm not used. I mean, my generation didn't do this social media back and forth. We didn't have social media, but it provides so much fucking controversy that you want to see what actually happens on stage. Speaking of social media, I don't know if you guys heard, but I did the video on Martin Fitzwater. You hear about him?
Yeah,
he got arrested. He got arrested
for anything.
I'm pretty sure he got arrested for drug possession. I don't know what kind of drugs. I don't want to speculate. I'm not 100% sure, which I said in the video. But basically in the video, I said, dude, get your shit together because you could be a top Olympian. And he can. I truly believe that the kid's only 26 years old. He came in second at Texas and fourth in the Arnold UK. That's fucking saying something, right? And you're only 20. He was 25, right? And I mean, so he's always kind of doing some dumb shit where he sticks his foot in his mouth. Anyway, he messaged me on Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah. And he actually he just wrote to me, Nick Trigilli 2.0.
Is that endearing?
Did
you feel good about that? Yeah.
I didn't.
Hey, Trigilli was making a mint off YouTube.
She went kidding. And so I wrote him back.
Like a social blade.
I wrote him back and I wrote, listen, I don't do this social media stuff. So if you want to come on my podcast and have a discussion, you're more than welcome.
Yep, for sure. Yep.
But I don't think that's going to happen. His lawyer will probably advise against it if he's really, on the drug possession.
Oh, he's not going to do it now with these proceedings taking place. Of course not. But I mean,
he's been on my channel. He's been on my channel before. I interviewed him before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And but these guys, they're taking a listen. If you don't want people to know your personal life, then don't become an elite bodybuilder because that's the trade-off. Your fame is trade-off for your personal space. So if you should have been a plumber, then nobody would have gave a shit, right?
What the fuck is going on here? Yeah, just things that are flashing behind me for some reason. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Anyway, it's a party here.
So I sent it to you yesterday, Mark, from FedEx. Listen to this. I had to use the ground, like, so they drive it to you. Because if they were to use, plane, send it to you to Canada, it would have cost me $200 to send it to you.
Good Lord, man.
And just I looked at the girl.
You got to stop getting stuff from the States.
I looked at the girl and I was like, are you out of your? She was, let me see if there's another way. Usually we could send it by ground. I'm like, oh, all right, good. And we went from $200. We went from $200 to 50. I went, all right, good. All right, $50 is fine.
Oh, shit. 50?
Yeah,
not $50.
Yeah, $50 for you, you son of a bitch. See how much I love your Canadian ass? Well, a bet's a bet. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you got to give me your info so I can e-transfer you for that too. It's done.
I'll just win the next one.
No, I'll e-transfer you and then you can pay me back.
Oh, okay.
Well, after I win the next one, because the next one coming up, the next one I've got. Okay, I'm not going to say I've got it in the bag, but I definitely know who's taking home the win. I'll tell you that right now.
What's the next one?
Legion.
The Legion.
All right, who's in the Legion? I know
Max
Charles Griffin. Max Charles sucks.
He's selling a new supplement, eh?
Is he?
Who is?
Charles?
Max Charles, yeah.
Oh, well,
makes you just like that. Makes you just like that.
Really?
It's like Viagra times 10, he says.
Yeah, okay. Just take Viagra. It's proven.
No, this is all natural.
I have a whole bottle.
Oh, of course.
It's fine. Just take half of Viagra and
drink Chugga. You guys know what Chugga is? Never heard of Chugga? Tea? Chugga?
No.
Oh,
look, dude, if there was
maybe, yeah.
Look, if there was a natural ingredient that did the same as Viagra, don't you think the pharmaceutical companies would fucking
Chugga is? Look it up, man. I'm telling you right now. Chugga.
But what I'm trying to say is, if there's a natural ingredient or any other ingredient that has the same effects as Viagra, Cialis, whatever the case may be, don't you think the pharmacy companies would want to profit from it?
They are. A buddy of mine makes loads of money off it.
You're saying it's a tea.
It's the ingredients is called Chugga. It's like almost like a fungus thing that grows on trees, just full of antioxidants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the chaga mushroom. Yep,
makes you just like that.
Does a pharmaceutical company sell it?
Oh yeah, no, they're buying it from my buddy of mine. He makes a living off of it.
Oh, I gotta do more. Research then. I don't know what Chugga. I know Chugga Nut. That's all I know from Star Wars.
Yeah, no, Mark's gonna send you the link, and John's gonna be an expert by tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing
tried, tested, no.
There was nothing better at the age of 47 having a rip roaring hard on. Nothing better than that.
I'll see when I get there.
You go, holy shit, you're alive. There have been times.
I'm alive.
There have been times, I'm not kidding either. This is a God's honest truth. There have been times where I have been in the last, I would say after 45, where I have been masturbating and I stopped to get a glass of water.
What? Oh my dear Lord!
Because I'm 40.
Because I'm 40. No, that one's we're letting fly. Because I'm 45 or 47, and it's like, I'm thirsty. Forget it. We'll finish this tomorrow.
We'll finish it tomorrow. Oh my God!
I got things to do. Because when you're 19, it's like your hand looks like a hummingbird. It's like, but when you're 47, you're like.
Yeah, but
plan in advance, bud. Before I sat down on my computer, you have your drink before you do the podcast. Start planning in advance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but the stuff when you were 19 years old, and even when I was 19 years old, we didn't have internet like we do now.
Internet,
we had that shit when we were that age.
It
would have been more than a hummingbird.
None of us would have left the house, which is what's happening to the young kids today. They don't leave
we would have stumbled out of the house all pale.
I used to
right arm jacked.
I used to jack off to the. I used to. Do you guys remember the MTV show The Grind?
No.
All right. There's a show on MTV.
Blue-footed boobies.
There was this show on MTV.
Edited out earlier.
There's this show on MTV called The Grind, right? And all it was MTV would go to the spring break spots, and this was in the 90s. And they would have and they would have a dance at the spring break spot. So all these girls in bikinis would be dancing, and then they used to repeat it early in the morning. So I used to have to get up early to go to school. I was taking community classes at community college, and then I used to fucking put it on before I went into the shower, and it would be like 6 o'clock in the morning, and they used to pre-air it or something like that. And then I just and then I go take a shower and go to school.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize.
That was it was either that or Victoria's Secret's catalog. Other than that,
Sears catalog,
Victoria's Secrets,
Sears.
But my father, I grew up with all. See, it was me, my brothers, and my father. My mother was the only woman in the house, so we had Penthouse, Playboy, everywhere. So
that wasn't allowed in my household growing up.
Really?
In fact, my dad's friend left like a Playboy in his vehicle one time. My mom found it, and she rolled it up and woke my dad up by smashing him in the face with it.
Yeah,
that's how bad it was. Like, wouldn't even so much as see anything like that, or a videotape. If I hit a videotape and that was found out in my household,
and you said
destroyed.
You said your dad was
plus a beating. Yeah,
your dad was the one messing around.
That's what I'm saying. That type of behavior created for these type of women. That's what I was saying earlier, like that type of behavior. So you got to.
But do you blame him? Do you blame him for cheating? If your wife woke you up by beating you with a Playboy magazine that you found? This would have been first of all, you got to watch it. You got to look at a Playboy magazine to get off. That's number one, right? Because
I don't even think it was Playboy.
That means Mrs. Hodgson. That means Mrs. Hodgson wasn't doing her job in the bedroom. That's number one. Okay, so I got a Playboy. And the second thing is,
hey, there was plenty of us.
And the second thing is, oh really? And the second thing is, she's beating my ass with it. First chance I get, I'm like, all right, fellas. All right, I'll let that out. Jesus Christ.
Well, we were all beat as children, you know. Set us.
Oh my Lord.
I really didn't catch a beating when I was a kid, man. Like once in a while. No. Nah, I didn't. Once in a while, my father, I caught beatings, but only if I did
something.
You
not have older brothers?
Yeah, I had older brothers, but they were so much older that they wouldn't like put their hands on me.
Okay, yeah. My oldest dad had that deal. He had like an older brother that was too old to rain blows upon him.
Right.
How come he didn't beat you up? He's like, well, he was too old. He was a man, and I was kid. I'm like, well, my brother's 6 years older than me, and my other one's like 3 years older than me. Right. They both laid a beating on me.
Right. Yeah. So you roughhouse constantly. My oldest brother's 14 years older than me. The other guy's 11 years older. Than me. So, you know.
That would have been, you know, you would have.
So, I mean, there was only like twice I remember really, because I really wasn't a bad kid, you know? Like I really wasn't. So
I had the devil in me, I'm telling you right now.
You know, we could tell, dude. You're paying it back in spades now, though. Anyway,
trying to.
Let's get back to. Oh, by the way, guys, Terrence Ruffin won the Dubai Pro.
I made a video on that. So did Kenson, I think.
Yeah, I did not cover.
I thought you didn't like Classic.
I don't. Not a big fan of Classic.
No, he's not a Classic fan. No,
not a Classic fan. If people want to see it and people start messaging me, why don't you cover Classic? Then I will. But until then,
I'm telling you right now, I get a lot of views from Classic.
You get a lot of views in everyone. You get, a gazillion subscribers.
Look at my last Wesley Vissers versus Chris Bumstead video and see how many views that has on it.
I know. You got like a million gazillion views.
Well, it doesn't have a million gazillion. If it had a million gazillion. Right.
No, look,
I'm just not really into Classic. I'm just never was. I
know what you're saying.
To me, it's like, and I know I'm going to piss people off when I say this, but if the NBA had an NBA with people only under 6 foot, to me that's Classic. It's like, well, you can't make the cut in open.
What was that guy's name? Spudwit or whatever they called him.
Yeah, but there was a Lee Priest in open too. So. So to me, it's like Classic is like you can't make the cut in open. So here's a class where everybody can, and there's a and if you think I'm lying, I mean, if you think I'm like, there's a category for every body shape. So you don't have legs, you go into physique. You're not big enough, you go into Classic. If you're too short, you go into 212. The other guys could go in the open. If you're a girl with a big ass, you go into wellness. Yeah. If
some people are just not made for bodybuilding.
And it's like there's a category for every body type possible. If you're a woman bodybuilder, it's bodybuilding. If you're not as big as woman bodybuilder, it's physique. If
it gets a little bit ridiculous with the women. You got open, physique, figure, wellness, fitness, bikini. Yeah. What is going on here?
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. And don't. And what I'm saying is, just because I'm not a fan, I'm not saying these Classic guys, they look fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I know they work hard. Believe me, I know they bust their ass. So I'm not taking anything away from them. But the argument that I hear that, oh well, the Classic guys don't have to take as much gear as the open guys, that's bullshit. That's complete and total.
Some of the just straight up physique guys take more gear than the guys.
Absolutely. I mean,
it comes down to their genetics and their ability to really build that muscle. Like how you respond to the compound in equal amounts is going to be different for everybody. So that's why these guys play to their strengths and pick these divisions, as you said. I can't get huge even though I'm taking as much as Nick Walker is or whatever, right? Okay, well, I'm not going to be able to do it in open, so I got to go physique. On the other hand, sometimes it allows these guys to find out how they will respond to some of these compounds over a period of time, so they will move from one division to another. And that's one of the benefits of these other divisions, right? I understand. I do understand what you're saying, right? It shouldn't be all inclusive. But if they add any more, actually, when they added physique originally, do you remember the first year of men's physique, dude?
Classic or men's physique?
No, men's physique, dude. Men's physique.
Shorts?
Yeah. I honestly don't remember.
I don't either. I don't. Okay. I swear to God. I know when they made classic physique, it was like 2018 or 19. No, 18, 17.
Well, I think classic was 15.
They had to put these rules in place for the men's physique guys in order to make sure that it did not get out of hand, because the guys are ridiculously bigger now as compared to the first year.
Oh, hell physique. Yeah. 100%.
That's the thing. Yeah. So it is, I'm glad. And I think it's good that they did, but the physiques did evolve over time. But at the first time I saw men's physique, the first year, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this does not belong in bodybuilding. At least now I can look at it and be like, okay, yep, this does belong in a physique competition.
Now that, listen, I'm not gonna listen. It created a lot more benefits for bodybuilding. It opened up more interest, more people, more young kids know who Chris Bumstead is. They have no clue who Mr. Olympia is. They think Chris Bumstead is Mr. Olympia, and I have to tell them he's not.
He's an Olympia champion. I wouldn't call him Mr. Olympia.
He's not Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, and so it opened up the door for social media and being a little bit more mainstream and so on and so forth. But
that's it. They got to be done though. There can't be any more. That's it.
There was talks.
Olympia if I ever meet him.
There was talks a few years. There was talks a few years back. I don't remember. It was before Clarita won the 212, and because I remember talking to him in the gym about it, and they were gonna do a 185 and under category.
That's getting.
And then they never did it. And I remember Clarita telling me if they have a 185 and under category, I'm doing it.
Hey, Clarita is only about 185, 190, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, and he still beats everybody. I know.
That's just it. Doesn't matter.
But back then he wasn't. Back then the Olympia, the 212 Olympia was what's his name? The guy from Wales. What's his name?
Yeah, James Flex Lewis.
Yeah, James Lewis. And then Clarita, caught up or whatnot. But I mean, listen,
2018, I think.
I'll be the first one to say if they had classic physique, because my physique is definitely more suited for classic than it is bodybuilding. I would have done classic. I'll be the first one to admit it that I would have done classic.
Because you'd be more competitive there.
Absolutely. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
But so I don't blame the guys for doing it. Not at all. I don't blame them at all. I'm just saying I'm not interested. Not interested in it because I look at it as probably because of my age. I look at it as a watered down bodybuilding. Right. And is there some truth to that? Yeah, but it's created such a fan base, right, that it has become almost more popular than the open bodybuilding. Classic physique is clearly
not physique.
No, classic physique. Classic physique. No, men. As soon as they started classic physique, men's physique kind of like I couldn't even tell you 5 guys in
don't need you anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I honestly don't watch it. I don't believe in it because they're wearing shorts. It's covering up your physique. That's part.
It's like an Old Navy commercial. It's ridiculous.
You can't see the physique. That's your tie-ins, everything.
No, it's ridiculous. It really is.
And now that there's a weight class, like Dave Palumbo said, they're just not going to train legs.
Yeah, right. It's going to get even worse.
They had Bob Ciccarello calling him an idiot. What do you mean they're not going to train legs? Well, they're not, because that's all their weight. If they don't need the weight on their leg.
The new rules that they put out there for men's physique is that the shorts now, like basically, if you have baggy shorts, then you're going to be marked down for it.
I didn't.
Tyler made.
Yeah, really?
I honestly, I don't watch it, so I didn't even watch it because.
So they wanted fitted shorts so you can actually see your legs a little bit.
Here's what the new rules say about men's physique. Okay, here's what they say. Tyler Mannion put out a statement. I did a video on it. So what Tyler Mannion came out to say was that the board short requirements for men's physique are going to change. The shorts now are going to be cut 2 inches above the kneecap for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
and they will be marking down competitors that have baggy shorts. They said, what Tyler said was, he said, we don't want to see the legs, but we don't want to see any unbalanced physiques. So you do have to have the shorts filled out, even though you don't have to see them, which is better, but still not great, I feel. You know, it is better. You know, it will create more of that.
So you want it. So if you have no legs, you're not breaking the top 10 in a show. Right.
And it's not fair to the guys that have cross striations in their legs, because if they
then they have to go do do classic physique, you know, and that's you know, like I said, man, it's just you got to, you know, when I grew up, there was only open bodybuilding, and women's, all they had was bodybuilding and fitness.
And when you're coming up, there's weight classes, and if you won, it didn't matter. You won the overall, didn't matter.
Well, it's still like that. There's still weight classes.
Yeah.
But back then you could be 180 pounds. You go compete with the open class guy.
But the truth of the matter is, like, they give out pro cards a lot easier than they did back then. But it doesn't matter. It's still very difficult to get.
A couple of year away.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, the cream rises to the top.
Exactly. You're pointless to even become a pro if you're not.
The guys that are going to rise to the top. That's it. I mean, you know. So so what I'm saying is, basically, it's all about business and money. That's, you know, more pro cards, more, you know, more people compete, more categories to compete in. Well, you know, every I think it's like $350 to keep your pro card every year or something like that.
Just about, you took the words right out of my mouth. Don't they have to pay a fee to keep
absolutely.
the pro card going?
Even if you want to be even if you want to be an NPC competitor. When I left off, it was 100 when I left off, it was 100 and a quarter, and that was 2014.
So having all these hundreds and hundreds of women, you know, that's great for them. Great business, right?
It just keeps revenue rolling, baby. It just keeps it rolling. So that's why, getting back to the original conversation of why they want Regan Grimes in that show, with that kind of following, I'm sorry, man, and what everything they're doing to expand the business, you can't, you'll never be able to convince me they don't want him in that show. Never in a million years.
Well, regardless of all the divisions, the only other thing I want to say about it is, yes, classic physique is very popular, but open bodybuilding is still king. It's still king, man.
Absolutely. Because
Mr. Olympia is an open bodybuilder.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mr. Olympia is the one that's been handed out since 1965.
That's right. Mr. Olympia is the biggest, baddest motherfucker on earth, period, end of story. And the guys that say, oh, well, they're getting away from the physiques like Arnold and Frank Zane, but they were the freaks in the 70s. Those were the freaks in the 70s.
You kidding me? Probably even more freak-like.
Yeah. Those were the freaks in the 70s.
1969, looking like Arnold did.
Yeah, right. Everybody was like, guys like that either had dad bods or were real thin. Nobody worked out back then. You know, that was it. Like we said before, the guys would go to work and they'd go to the bar or they go play cards or something.
Do you guys know who? Do you guys know who Ed Connors is?
Ed Connors.
Ed Connors is the guy that started the original Gold's Gym franchise. He was one of the pioneers, right? He owned the house. He owned the house in California where he would house bodybuilders on the beach and everybody would train at Gold's and blah blah blah. He did so. Ed Connors.
Well, yeah, him and Joe Gold both formed like the Gold's Gym, and then they had World's Gym, right?
I don't know about the World's Gym, but I know Gym, Gold's for sure, right? But the thing is, I heard Ed Connors do some commentary, some guest commentary. It was at the Europa, and he actually said that he thinks that open bodybuilders are getting too big, and I just cannot help but disagree with that wholeheartedly. It's that is an absolute.
That's ridiculous. That's like saying UFC fighters have too much skill as they did back then, you know, or you know,
these guys are too good. Yeah.
Why do you think Arnold won? Why do you think Arnold beat Frank Zane and Franco Columbo time?
Well, exactly, because he was bigger.
He's the biggest mother ever.
Yeah, that's right. It's the truth. And that's just the case of my generation trumps everybody else's generation. My generation is just better.
I think so.
And the truth of the matter is, some things are better, some things are worse. Okay. And with sports in general, sports generally gets better and better and better with time goes on, because you have better advances in nutrition, you have better advances in drugs, you have better advances in supplements, better advances in working out, so on and so forth. So it's just gonna, you know, you're always going to advance in sports. It's inevitable, man. It's just not even, I mean, well, if you look at a football player, a top, a top, I wish Jason was with me right now because he would know this. If you look at a top, I don't know, receiver and what he could run in, a 50-yard dash as opposed to, 1970, I'm sure the guys today could blow the guys in 1970 away. Like it's not even close. Wouldn't even be close. Sure. And it's the same thing in bodybuilding. The idea that
that's another used to be 300 pounds.
Yeah. Well, that's another athletic competition where training and nutrition has evolved since then. So it naturally is going to be more. There's going to be more advancement in this day and age, and the performance is going to exceed those of yesteryear. There's no question. Any sport,
exactly.
You're gonna have a genetic freak though that will super exceed, like a Ronnie Coleman.
Right.
It's gonna take a
there's
long
always
time.
There's always one.
To find another Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
No, yes, of course.
Yeah, there's always one freak that stands at the Babe Ruth, the Muhammad Ali. I always say,
the
test of time.
Structure.
Right.
20 years later, Ronnie Coleman is still the whenever there's a new like Olympia champion or somebody that wins a show or something like that. Like I think it was Crizzo. I can't remember if you did it or not, Mark, but I remember there was one competitor earlier this year. I was like, all right, Mark, it's time for the measuring stick. You got to do the video on Ronnie Coleman. I'm pretty sure it was versus Crizzo. I was like, we need the measuring stick because that's the standard. Superset Man, he always did the same thing. He took the top 5 from the last Olympia and he took Ronnie Coleman and placed him in the middle, and Ronnie Coleman destroyed everybody from 2003.
Of course he does. Yeah, of course. He is the Michael Jordan of bodybuilding. He's the Mariano Rivera, but he's the one guy that supersedes everything.
Oh man.
Period.
He was pushing 300 pounds before pushing 300 pounds was cool.
Right.
See, all these other guys trying to chase his weight. You know why Big Ramy? He was like the same weight as he was in like 2021. Because if Ronnie Coleman was in that condition, he'd be 300 pounds.
Yeah.
If Big Ramy was in the same condition Ronnie was, he'd be like 250 pounds.
Yeah,
he was shredded.
Big Ramy, speaking of which, so he isn't doing this year's Olympia. My personal opinion, he's never going to be competing again. Because I don't think, because in bodybuilding, there's always an unspoken retirement. We saw it with Kai Green, Rolly Winkler. I mean, you go down the line, now you're seeing it with Ramy. But guys like
they don't actually announce it. Yeah.
Even Phil Heath.
Kai Green did a lot of talking. But anyway.
Phil Heath never officially retired, did he?
Right. No, because they always have that competitive drive that I won't do it this year, but I won't do it. But once you get used to a regular lifestyle, then you ain't going back. It's like
a song. It's like a song that fades away and doesn't.
Right.
So, and if you do want to go back, it's years later where you're no longer competitive.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like a Kevin Marone. Yeah,
go do the math.
Swing of things. You can't get it back into the swing of things. It is very difficult.
It is. Yeah, and Milos, I think, went through it too. Actually, when he was competing, I'm pretty sure he went. But the
Milos
thing is,
wants to do it now. He's talking about being like jacked at 60 is his thing. Like
he looks great for a while.
So Milos, sure he is in pretty good shape.
He looks great.
Of course,
the mind.
I can't help but like the guy.
Everybody loves Milos.
I know.
I don't know.
I can't help but.
But the thing is, with Big Ramy, he's got his career is nothing to be ashamed. Like you should, as far as I'm concerned, you're a 2-time Mr. Olympia. You were, 2-time Mr. Olympia means you were the greatest in the world 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one other guy that can say that.
Just go out. Yeah, just go out like, I'm retiring. Sport's been great to me. So on and so forth. But I think what happens is a lot of these guys, they have that competitive spirit and they still think, I'll get back. I'm going to get back. And the truth of the matter is you're not going to get better with time. It's inevitable, especially a guy as big as Big Ramy. Those guys don't get better with time. They get worse. They do not. There's a reason why Dexter had such a long career. And one of the reasons was he was a smaller bodybuilder. He didn't have to put that punishment on his body that the big dudes do, like a Ronnie or a Jay Cutler or so on and so forth, or Dorian, and those big.
He was the smallest champion since the 80s.
Yeah, that's right.
He was. You're right, though. He did solidify his legacy. I don't think that he's going to compete again either, to be honest.
You don't have to. Do this, Phil?
No. Dude, do you know what kind of business deals that guy's doing?
If Hattie Shupin only ever wins one, Ramy will be the only 2-time out of all those like Roden, Curry, and
yeah.
Ramy won it twice. Then Hattie won it once, and then
I don't got to tell you guys.
Could win it again. I don't know.
There is a thing with bodybuilding though when it comes to Olympia champions. As some do say, you win one Olympia, okay, you're Mr. Olympia, but you really want to solidify yourself as a true Olympia champion.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But as a bodybuilding fan, I like it better this way. I don't like knowing that Ronnie Coleman's going to beat everybody. And then, or Phil Heath's going to beat everybody. Do you know what I mean? I don't like knowing that. I like the idea of, is Hardy going to win, or is Derek going to fucking take over this year? Or is Samson surprise everybody? I like that.
Yeah. With bodybuilding now,
makes it a lot more exciting.
Happen. Yeah, anything can happen. Where there was more politics back in the day.
100%. You took the words right out of my mouth. 100%. And that's why I always enjoyed the Arnold Classic much more, because there wasn't guys that dominated the Arnold Classic. You didn't know who was gonna win. Whereas but don't get me wrong, Ronnie would have been Ronnie no matter what, right? That's just
I don't know, man. I mean, I really enjoyed the Ronnie Coleman and Phil Heath type era, because although I do understand what you're saying, and I do agree that there is more of a level of excitement, especially after you had a champ like Phil Heath who won for a number of years. Then finally it was like, well, it's up for grabs now, and that's exciting, right?
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, with a champion like Phil Heath or Ronnie Coleman, the biggest benefit of that stretch was the fact that even though it was the same guy winning every time, it was one of the best physiques that you have ever seen in 100%. The history. The guys that were like Lee Haney, Coleman, Phil Heath, they won so many because they really were the best physiques. And that for me is like, fuck, you're seeing this is not just 2019 Brandon Curry show, which don't get me wrong, Brandon was a great champion, showed up with a great physique. But it wasn't like Phil Heath 2011 or 2013.
No, and it was a very weak lineup too. Yeah, it was a very weak lineup.
But just having that guy that shows up and it's just this isn't just the greatest physique in this lineup, but it's one of the greatest physiques of all time.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree. you're kind of torn. I love the idea of seeing Dorian. When I was in high school, it was Dorian, then it was Ronnie, and then Phil. Jay, I really wouldn't put Jay in that category because Jay lost and had to regain it. And I've said this before. Jay Cutler was a bodybuilder, was a Mr. Olympia during a time where it was like a down period, where it was after the Ronnie Coleman craze and then before Phil and Kai, right? So you had that where it was like him, Branch, Victor, and Dexter, and Phil, and Cutler was always the biggest and hardest, and so on and so forth. But so I really don't put him in that category, even though was one of the greatest bodybuilders ever. But for the most part, I do kind of. I like the idea of that's our heavyweight champion, right?
Yep.
Like Phil Heath, that's all Mike Tyson. But at the same time, the excitement that this year's Olympia is bringing, I don't think I would trade it. I love this shit, man.
I wouldn't trade it either. No, I wouldn't. No way.
Yeah. But
I think when Sean Roden beat Phil in 2018, it basically put the bodybuilding world on notice that you have to win now. You can't. Right. Well, I guess Dexter did. I take that back. Dexter did that when he beat Jay.
Yeah.
We're not going to let anybody like 2002 Ronnie Coleman or 97 Yates probably shouldn't have won.
It was a little.
I wasn't there, but
yeah, it was a little bit different back then because of politics and because the champion made you a lot of money, whereas the champion doesn't make you a lot of money in bodybuilding now. Social media makes you money now.
Well, that's kind of what Vince McMahon wanted to do with pro wrestling,
right?
Back in the day, like I want to go see Hulk Hogan. He said, I want the people to say I want to go see WWF, not one wrestler.
It makes it worse, by the way. Speaking of which,
it makes it way worse.
Speaking of which, Mark, did you watch the OVW thing on Netflix? I watched that. It was great.
No,
dude, you got to watch it with Al Snow. Oh, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
He's pretty jacked now, I heard.
Well, he's in shape, but he's got a belly. But he's 60 years old.
He was never in shape.
Yeah, I mean, but
He was on an old UFC.
You gotta watch it because he's the whole story of the documentary is about he's trying to make OVW like another, competitive wrestling, and he takes
a league that's going on right now.
Yeah. He owns OVW, and
okay, that's
and
why
it's called the Wrestler. It's called The Wrestler or something like that on Netflix, and it's a fantastic documentary because he has no choice but to take in business people that want to invest in wrestling but don't really know much about wrestling. So there's a lot of there's two guys that invest in it. One guy basically just invests the money and says to Al, you do your thing. I know you know wrestling. The other guy wants to really get involved, but he's a lawyer. He don't know shit about wrestling.
Yeah, with today, does anybody know wrestling? It's so different. All you see is women. All you see is women in the ring.
Yeah, and they have one chick, dude, that's really good. And I'm not talking about like wrestling, but her persona is really, and she could play.
That's how you make your money.
What the hell was her name? I forgot her name. You got to watch it, dude. You got to watch it. And I'm not a huge
I'll have to watch it too.
Definitely watch. I'm not a huge wrestling fan, but now I'm like, all right, when is OVW going to be on? Because I want to see these people, I want to see what's going on. But they have one chick who's like in her early 20s, and she has what it takes to be either a bad guy or a good guy, a face. Like there's this scene where like these little kids are booing her when she comes out, right? And she does this thing where she has like this sock with like rocks in it, and then when the ref's not looking, she knocks the shit out of her opponent with it, and then like it's and then there's these little kids booing her and they go boo boo. He goes yeah. She goes yeah. She says this one little kid, yeah, spell boo, yeah, spell it, yeah, that's what I thought.
Holy fuck!
It was the old rock and the sock trick.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. It was telling
like Bugs Bunny used to take that glove and he'd put a brick inside. And
right, exactly.
Yep.
Then they had
the thing about being a good heel is you have to be the general of the match.
Yeah, the thing is, it's I think it's a lot more difficult to be a good heel today because
it's difficult to be a heel, period, because a heel has to run the match. Unless
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about trying to get heat, but you can't be politically incorrect, right? And then at the same time, you got to get heat, but you still have to sell merchandise, right? Like when I was a kid, I would have never wore an Iron Sheik t-shirt. Fucking hated that guy. There's no way. They spit on the American flag. There's no way, right?
He call you a jabroni. You jabroni.
Yeah, or
Gene Mean. He called me Gene Mean.
So you got to be politically, so you can't pretend like you're gonna hit a woman like Macho Man, or you can't
say grab Elizabeth by her chin.
Yeah, right. So you can't do that shit. So that was like, people they hated you, right? And it didn't matter if you didn't sell a Macho Man t-shirt, but now they want you to sell those things. But
he was one of the few heels that could sell merch back in the day.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but
I actually like Macho Man.
So now you have to be you have to be politically correct, be able to sell merchandise, and still be a bad guy. That's fucking rough.
And it's hard to be a bad guy because they cheer the bad guys.
Yeah, because
they used to anyway. I don't know what's going on.
No, when you get a chance, you guys watch it. It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. Then they got a couple of old guys wrestling. It's like, dude, when are you gonna pack it in? You're never gonna make it. Like you're 50 now. Let's wrap it up. But, they come out, they got a belly. It's like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, no. This isn't like the first 10 UFCs. Like you got to be in shape,
Right? Yeah.
The thing about wrestling, they will let you in as long as you put an ass in a seat.
That's right. Exactly.
No matter what type of pathetic shape you're in, they will wheel you out. That's the sad part of it.
So my limited wrestling knowledge. Look at the Big Show, right?
Yeah,
guy wasn't in shape, dude. Wasn't in any kind of shape.
I haven't seen him in years.
Not at all. He actually got in better shape after he retired from bodybuilding. After he retired from wrestling, like he's like really into fitness and staying in shape. But no, those guys, you just had to be humongous and there had to be a guy that walked down the aisle and you go, holy shit, what the fuck is that?
You walk anywhere being that big, dude. Like you walk anywhere, doesn't matter.
That way.
Grocery store.
I agree.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling should still be that way.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate. But and put steroids back in. steroids back in
Put
wrestling.
steroids back in.
Give me a break. They look like I could beat them up, for Christ's sake.
It's just like the freaks in bodybuilding, dude. Like
it looks like guys that are loading my groceries in there.
Yeah. What'd you say,
No,
Kenson?
it's like I was saying, like it's just like the freaks in bodybuilding. Like you want to see the freaks, right? Like that's the same idea in wrestling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no question about it.
Or unless you're like a Kurt Angle or something like that.
Look, you always had your guys that would show up like smaller, shredded, and came in and they would rip.
Kurt Angle means business. He's more than just a 220-pound man.
Do you remember that guy? Do you remember that kid from the? Remember that kid who was actually an MMA fighter?
Oh, that put Angle in an armbar or something like that. Yeah. You guys ever hear about Angle? The crap that he went through.
He was just on Joe Rogan, and I have not missed it. I have not watched it, rather.
Watch that. See, I watched that. I watched that.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I just have not had a chance to sit and I have Spotify on my phone. I should have watched it while I was at work today at lunchtime.
I listen to them when I listen to the podcast while I'm doing videos.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Editing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't mean like.
I sometimes I'll edit a video for days at a time.
Yeah, no, you guys are probably like me. Like if there's any time spent on social media, it's collecting content to be able to put out the next thing that you're going to be covering on your channel.
Yeah,
like not really consuming anything else.
There are times I'm not home, and then something pops up. Like, oh shit, I got to do a video on this, and I run home. I got to do it now. Like when Neil Curry passed away, or when Martin Fitzwater got arrested, I was at the gym. And I was like, fuck, I just finished up at the gym.
I gotta go.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see that video that Fouad Abiad put out? Kenson.
Kenson, I did, yeah.
You showed me. No, I mean, John. He was basically saying that people shouldn't be posting Neil Curry videos. And the title of his video was a few words about Neil Curry. It's like, what's going on, man?
What are you going to
He was dissing other YouTube channels. I don't like how YouTube channels make videos about people dying, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about Neil Curry. Yeah, and then let's make a video about it.
Well, my Neil Curry video got taken down from YouTube.
What?
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah, if you go, and I actually just appealed it before we started. They did it today.
No way.
Huh. Yeah, and I just appealed. They said that it was violating the hate speech policy.
What?
Yeah, so I appealed it.
You're not even monetized.
Yeah, I know. I appealed it, and we'll see what happens.
That's bullcrap, man. That's
I don't. And what they do is I'm sure you guys know. They sent me the video and say you could look through the video and see if you want to appeal. Yep. And I did, and I'm like, I'm saying
watched it.
Yeah, watched it. And I was like, I didn't. I mean, I said some stats about self-deletion. I brought some stats on about self-deletion. I said that there's not enough awareness about self-deletion, and mental illness. I said, especially among men, because men are the majority of people that do take their own lives. The stats are
staggeringly,
the stats are women attempt more, but men actually take their own lives a hell of a lot more. 70, I think it's like as high as in the United States, it's 70%.
Well, look, dude, I don't want you to have this video taken down either.
Nah, don't worry about it.
No, but really, that's shocking, dude. That's honestly, like, I had no idea.
Yeah, so I don't know, so I appealed it. I have a feeling that they're going to reinstate it, because I really didn't say anything hateful.
They've done that to me, and I've appealed it, and they've there was an age restriction video, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna watch the video, and I never said nothing about any. Right. And I appealed it, and they said we watched it again, and there was no age restriction on it.
Yeah, and that happens all the time. Yeah. Like I've gotten copyright stuff and things like that, and maybe it's something small that I missed or whatever. But like I would say 90-something% of the time it's reinstated. So that's why I think this one is going to be reinstated, and I'm not really bugging, because first of all, I'm not monetized yet, and secondly, I didn't say anything wrong, and there was no hate speech. I know they don't like the word, so I use self-delete or took his own life. If I curse, I make sure it's way into the video, and I don't use and I don't use any. If I use a real hard curse word, I bleep it out. So I don't see any. I honestly am like fully confident they're going to send it back. But I don't know. Fuad has been putting a bad taste in my mouth, and
that put a bad taste in my mouth, him saying that crap.
I was a huge fan of his. He's one of the reasons why I started mine, because I used to watch him and Luke Sandow during the shutdown, and I used to watch RX Muscle during the shutdown, and he was one of the reasons why. And so he basically was saying that he doesn't think YouTubers should do videos on Neil Curry.
He's basically saying that they're, I don't know exactly how he said it, but I think it was something along the lines of, I don't like how these YouTubers that don't even know this guy making videos just to get views. And then he basically said, I didn't really know him. He met him a couple times. He wasn't really friends with him, but he knew him a little bit.
So it's fine for him to do a video on him.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander, I thought.
You know what's funny is,
and
just
Saunch did a video on him. Saunch met him.
Yeah, I never met Neil Curry. Right? I saw him. I was at the New York Road, and he won.
Looking at these videos, and Fuad doesn't know if these people knew him or not. I guarantee he didn't know if Saunch knew him.
I mean,
nobody wants to do those videos either. Nobody jumps up and says, I got to do this video because it's going to get the views out. It actually does come from a place of respect for that individual as a bodybuilder.
And 100%. And when I did the video, I used that video as a platform to talk about the idea that there is not enough attention that falls on these problems, mental illness and taking your own life. There is not enough attention, especially when it comes to men. Basically with men, it's like, get off your ass and be responsible. And I get that sometimes you need that hard knock, but there's not enough attention. Nobody knows these stats. Nobody knows that it's 70% of men are the ones.
The fact that you're not monetized shows.
Yeah, I even use that to explain, the fact that since I'm 10 years old, I've been in and out of depression and anxiety cycles and so on and so forth. So I even spoke about how I deal with it. So it wasn't that I went on and decided that I need to go on this and to get views. I mean, if you watch it, great, right? But it is relevant in the bodybuilding industry. And if you are a YouTuber and you want to be a responsible YouTuber, you are going to talk about the things that go on in the bodybuilding industry, good or bad. And for him to say that, that's like when Howard Stern said that podcasts are irrelevant.
Did he say that?
Yeah, that podcasts are not a way.
He did. Didn't he do podcast?
No, he did radio.
Well, I know, but it looked like a podcast style.
Yeah, but he did do radio, and he basically said that podcasts were never going to be able to where you're going to be able to make a living when podcasts were first breaking out on the scene, and it's so on and so forth. So it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's like
screwed that one up.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Actually, he was on Howard Stern show actually.
Oh yeah, plenty of times. Yeah.
Listen,
and it's like it seems like. What is it, Fuad? You're a little bit upset that the smaller YouTubers are catching up, maybe? I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand. It doesn't, and not for nothing.
When another YouTuber does good, it's good for everybody.
And the thing is too,
that's why we do this.
It's not direct competition. So it's not like if I have a great YouTube channel, I'm taking money out of your pocket. Google is not running out of money. If both guys are doing well, they're going to get monetized and you're going to get advertisements.
What's good for bodybuilding?
It's not like, it's not like I have a store and I'm directly competing with the store across the street and we're selling the same product and I'm looking to put them out of business. That's not how it works on YouTube. And it's like, honestly, these bodybuilders, they have a very self-centered thought process, but everything revolves around them. And if you think about the sport, everything revolves around them,
by its very nature. Yeah.
By its very nature. It's not a team sport.
Its very nature. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you got to hand it to the guys that are like, they keep it like I had mentioned earlier, Ali Haney had that perfect attitude.
Yeah. They're
even a Coleman, like they asked Coleman, would Ronnie beat you or Arnold beat you? And you know what Coleman said? Oh, what? Yeah, he way better than us. He make me look like a little boy. And he said he didn't have those advancements like we had. And that was the first time anybody would ever admit that.
And yeah,
and you know what? Hats off to you, Ronnie.
Anybody with character would always give props to the guys that paved the way in any sport. It's the guys that don't. And the truth of the matter is, it's only the last few generations that don't give props to the fucking guys
look at Phil Heath. Look at Phil Heath. Not only am I the best, but I was only taking half the gear.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But there are guys there are guys like Dante Wilder, who was the former heavyweight champion. And he lost to Tyson Fury. And when he was the champ, they asked him if he could beat Mike Tyson. And he was like, oh, yeah, I whip Mike Tyson. And it's like, dude.
He should immediately say no.
Exactly.
Out of respect, he should immediately say no.
And it's just like, dude, like, it is now I'm going to date myself, but there was an episode of Arsenio Hall, and Muhammad Ali was his guest. And he asked Mike Tyson was the heavyweight champion. And he asked Muhammad Ali, he asked Muhammad Ali, would you be able to beat Mike Tyson? He said, oh, definitely not. No way. He goes, one shot and I'd be out.
One shot, I'll be out.
And then they came out. Yeah. Then they brought Mike Tyson and Sugar Ray Leonard out. And
Sugar Ray, Sugar Ray was awesome.
The Sugar Ray, Kenson, if you ever want to YouTube something, go watch old Sugar Ray Leonard fights when he was in his prime.
It was almost like there was he had a fight like every weekend or something like that.
It was unreal. Just go when he won the gold medal. He made everybody look like a child.
And he was.
I think I did see one video of. I think I did see one video of him before. I'm pretty sure I did.
But anyway, getting back to it,
right?
No, he wasn't a middleweight. He was originally a welterweight, and then he moved up to middleweight.
Yeah, but
then they had Tyson out, and they asked him, would you be able to beat Muhammad Ali? And he said something to the effect of, everybody. Sooner or later, every head must bow, every crown must be taken off to the greatest ever, and he was the greatest ever, or something like that. And it's like. I mean, the only difference I could see is the generational difference, where the new guys don't pay homage to the guys who paved the way, and that blows me away. It just blows me away. It's like, dude, you wouldn't be here doing that well in that sport if it wasn't for that guy. It could, if Arnold wasn't there, it could very well have been that bodybuilding was this fad, right?
Yeah, Crizzo just did an interview actually on it was with AJ Kelly Robert on Fouad's channel. But I watched that, and he even asked him, like, what bodybuilders do you I can't remember if he asked if it was who are you comparable to or who did you enjoy coming up, but I remember he mentioned Kevin Levrone. Mm-hmm. And Flex Wheeler, he mentioned Flex Wheeler as well, a couple others, right?
Yeah.
So and I'm sure that's I'm pretty sure now it was who he looked up to, not who he's comparing himself to.
Right.
And you do get that from competitors, right? Because everybody has that one physique that you saw and you were like, holy shit, I want to go and be like that, Yeah. Like that's typically what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it was Sean Ray.
Yeah, there you go, right?
There's a famous picture of Sean Ray. He has no shirt on, and this is when he was rocking the flat top back in the 90s. He has no shirt on. He's leaning up against a Ferrari. I think he has jeans on. And I remember I was like
bodybuilding before that, though.
Yeah, and I think I must have been 14 or 15 years old, and I was looking through one of the magazines, and I saw that picture, and I was like, "Oh, I want to look like that." Obviously, that never happened, But there's always a guy that that inspires you.
Sean Ray was around. You were probably a teenager.
Yeah, I was about when he was on. Yeah, he was on top. I was in high school, and then
what was the first physiques you seen and remember?
Honestly, it was professional wrestling. It was guys like you
didn't see like bodybuilding before that, like pumping iron.
No.
Really?
No. Pumping Iron was 74. I wasn't born until 76, or it came out in 75.
No, I know, but I figured they might have showed like reruns or something.
No, the first physiques that I was a product of the 80s. So you're talking about Rocky,
Stallone,
Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and obviously was in Commando and Terminator, and then professional wrestling with Hogan. And I always loved the guys that were jacked, like Tony Atlas, Ivan Putski.
He was a bodybuilder.
He was a bodybuilder. Yeah. Ivan Putski, Tony Atlas. And then
Putski, there you're talking some physiques.
And then what happened was when I started following bodybuilding is when I started looking at the magazines and picking up the magazines. Then I found out who the real champion bodybuilders were. And Sean Ray was the first guy I saw that was like a dramatic, like, oh, that's what I want to look like, And then I started following. Then I watched Pumping Iron and then so on and so forth. Then I started really getting into bodybuilding. And then what was funny is like all the other kids were into football and baseball and shit. And they'd be like, look how jacked he is. I'd be like, he ain't shit, man. You got to see what Mr. Olympia looks like. You got, you know.
I always thought that was funny when some like, oh, look how good a shape that baseball player is or something like that.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, it was Bo Jackson. Don't get me wrong. Bo Jackson was jacked. I remember there was a picture where he was like,
Sammy Sosa with his top off?
Dude, he was
I thought Mark McGuire would have beat him. He was
just let them take steroids. Really, you're just robbing the audience. If I have to pay all that money to watch baseball, at least let them fucking be. You know, I mean, it's just
they've been taking steroids in baseball since the 1800s.
Please, dude.
Actually, that's one of the very first ever experiments with animal testosterone was a baseball player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, way back.
Yeah, there you go.
Kenton, you got to go back.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know either. Kenton, you got to go back and watch when not Sammy Sosa, who was the guy from San Francisco? Barry Bonds used to hit a home run, bro. He
beat them both. Barry Bonds went and beat them both.
It was when he held the bat in his hand, it looked like he had a pen. Looked like he had a pen in his hand, right? And then the ball left the park in like under 2 seconds. It was a missile when he used to hit it. It was unbelievable. Then there'd be people in the boat in the bay waiting for the ball because they wanted to get a Barry Bonds ball, and they'd be fucking.
Oh yeah,
dude,
that'd be me.
It was unbelievable how they used to jack home runs back.
Henson walking on the bottom of the river.
Yeah, I'm not just getting one. I'm getting a few dozen motherfuckers.
I remember Bo Jackson. Remember Bo Jackson when he would strike out?
Yeah, he would crack the bat over his head, over his knee.
I'll have to show you guys sometime. I've actually got a
bottle. Strike out.
Say that again, Kenton. What were you going to say, Kenton?
It's funny when you mentioned that because I actually do collect things underwater. I've got a bottle collection of like really old like Coke bottles and beer bottles and shit like that. I find like I've got old plates and mugs and stuff. Like, yeah, I do. When I'm diving, if I'm doing an inspection and I see shit like that, I collect it and take it home.
Yeah, why not? That's cool. I would do the same shit. So I'm sorry, Mark. What were you saying about Bo Jackson?
Oh no, it's just that he would break. I would pray for him to strike out, so he'd break that bat across.
I'll check out Bo Jackson in this wrestling movie after the Olympia because we're like it's only 6 weeks now.
I know
6 weeks, man.
Dude, you see what these guys are looking like too? You see what Derek looks like? Hottie, Samson, Nick. Holy shit! These guys are looking good.
Does anybody have any faith in Brandon Curry whatsoever?
No. I don't think
just because everybody else is so good.
Brandon Curry to win the Olympia, you guys are going to call the set me up for a rubber room.
I think Brandon. Yeah, no, I think Brandon's going to fall.
What if Brandon won the Olympia?
Yeah,
Samson Dauda places second.
What?
Nick Walker in third. Hey,
Samson Dauda could very well play second, but not behind Brandon Curry.
I had a vision. Curry wins the Olympia.
Yeah, I had a vision that Kim Kardashian gave me oral sex, but that's not happening.
I had zero visions of Curry winning the Olympia. That I will say for sure. Zero.
It's just these guys coming up are too good, man. They're too good.
They're just too good, man.
Derek, Samson, Nick, Hunter, Andrew, Jack, Hottie. These guys are way too good.
Wait a sec. Wait, Mark, you're just throwing shit. You don't think he's going to win. You just had the vision. You're not saying that you think he's going to do it. That's not your prediction. Yeah, that's not your prediction. Okay, well, that's different. I was
testing it out with you guys, but since you guys are so mean about it, no, I'm not.
Hey, don't let us influence your decision.
No, the fans can be my fans are twice as mean as you guys. So
I'll be honest with you, man. I honestly think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Hottie Derek, and Samson battling it out for the top three.
There's 5 guys there that. 4 guys maybe I think that could win it. So there's gonna be a potential Olympian placing 4th. You're gonna have to put a guy like Hattie, Nick, Derek. One of them guys is gonna go.
I think those 4 guys are gonna be in the top 4 right there.
That's one of the hardest jobs for us to do.
Yeah,
it is such a hard pick this year. It's tough, man.
Gun to my head though, I'd have to go with Derek.
I know.
I picked you as a Hattie guy. I thought you were going with Derek.
I was gonna go. Yeah, Okay.
We can't pick the same guy. We all have to pick.
I was actually gonna go with Hadi until I saw the video of Derek and Samson. And I'm like, I know how big Samson is. I met him in person after he won the Arnold Classic. And then when I saw him and Derek in the gym, that video when Derek took the shirt off, and from the front, Derek is as big and as V-tapered as him. But then when he turned around, Derek's back was just
so unbelievable.
I was like, if you could turn around and make Samson looks, not that he looks small, but you beat him on back shots, that's really saying something. Seriously.
So Walker said his back is flat.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, he did say that, yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
And he lost to him at the same. Well, yours must have been even flatter, Nick.
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah, but Nick admitted that he was flatter at that show intentionally, right? So that's his saving grace, right?
Listen, Nick, there's another guy, man. You can't put anything past Nick because he is so freaky muscular with that freaky condition at such a young age that
Nick Walker's in his 20s.
Yeah, I think he might be around. Is he? Yeah, he's late 20s. Right?
I just looked it up. I think
he's either. Yeah, I think he just turned 29 recently. Yeah,
and
you'd be a fool to count him out. You'd be a fool to count out Nick Walker.
And he's the youngest Olympia champion since the 80s.
Yeah, right. He has that hard, grainy muscle that you only see guys really get after 10, 15 years of heavy weight pounding. You see those guys get it in their 30s, 35, 37, and he has that. So
like a Dorian Yates.
Yeah, these guys, they just get better and better and better and better, man. They just get better and better. It's just unbelievable. Anyway. All right, gentlemen. What's the next show we're doing?
The Legion.
When is the Legion?
It's this weekend.
Oh, we're not doing that. Okay.
All right. Well, spoiler alert, Charles Griffin's going to win it. Doesn't matter.
I saw him. I just don't know who else is in it.
I told you, Justin Max Charles.
Yeah.
Max Charles.
But what John's asking, what John's asking is who's doing it that could be potential competition.
Hey, Max is planning on winning this one.
yeah.
Well, of course, he's a professional bodybuilder. He's planning on winning everyone, but
no, he's gonna smile more. He said,
"If Charles Griffin is one of my favorite bodybuilders." So
Beefs too.
Charles, there is somebody else in this though. To be honest.
Justin Rodriguez.
Sorry, Max. You might get sixth.
If that's the case, Charles Griffin's gonna destroy it. Is gonna win because
Rodriguez.
Justin Rodriguez does not look like he's making any improvements at all.
No, and I really like Justin as a bodybuilder.
Oh yeah, he could beat him. No, it's possible that he could beat him.
But did you see his updated pics?
No.
He does not look.
No.
Charles looks insane. Charles's hamstrings, dude. Dude, he looks like he's got 500 cables.
It was the fucking thumbnail on my video. It was so impressive. Okay, I've never used a guy's hamstrings on a video when it comes to a thumbnail, and his are so good.
They're probably the best.
If it translates over to the stage, it's going to be absolutely mind blowing. He is suffering like he's never suffered before, and there's nobody that's going to beat this guy, dude.
And the way he's able to do a vacuum at his size, it's so impressive. He probably is the best vacuum in open bodybuilding. I've never it's so impressive.
He's just a couple Olympias.
I don't think he never broke the top 10 though.
Yeah. No. Well, he was in one way back when, like 2018.
He was in it last
Charles?
year. Yeah, Charles was in it last year. But he didn't.
Yeah, I know, but he was in an old one though.
Oh, okay.
No, but he didn't get the 16th. He didn't get 16th. He actually got a place, I'm pretty sure.
Once I get past 10, I lose track of
like 15th or something like that.
I think it was 15th that he got. But regardless, he is better now, I think, by quite a significant margin. Yeah.
I agree.
But John, to answer your question, what's the next show that we're going to cover? The Olympia.
It's sad to say the Olympia.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing else, I don't think.
Yeah, I know. I think I think that's it. The Legion.
Is that a sneeze?
There's a lot of guys I really wish would have kept. I really wish Beef Stew would have kept competing because I really believe he could have probably won a show. I really wish what's his name would have kept competing, Carlos Thomas Jr. I really wish Sergio Oliva Jr. would have kept competing.
I give up on Sergio, man.
I really wish he could, because like, you look at these guys and you go, man, Beef Stew was like, man, he could have definitely won a Toronto, and then be on the Olympia stage. It's like, you were that.
You think Beef Stew could have beat Ian Valliere?
No. I'm just saying one of the shows that were lighter in competition.
But Toronto was Ian Valliere.
Yeah, and then and Hassan Mustafa. But what I'm saying is there was so many shows.
Chicago, he might have won Chicago.
Chicago was Justin Shire. Now maybe he would have had a chance against Justin Shire. Yeah, I agree with that.
All I'm saying is, like, there were guys that
Ross Flanagan won.
Right.
No, Ross would have beat
Cali. It was Cali.
Ross would have beat Justin.
Ross.
No, he's talking about Beef Stew, not Justin.
Beef Stew.
Wait, Beef Stew did the Cali.
Yeah, Ross.
Oh, that's right. And he came in like fourth or something like that, right?
Yeah, he didn't look as good.
But there was a lot of light shows that they were lightly packed that these guys could have a Carlos Thomas Jr., Sergio, Beef Stew that could have possibly won a couple and been at the Olympia this year. And Brandon, what's the other guy? What's his name? The Brazilian guy.
Beirut Stabani?
No, the Brazilian guy.
He's not Brazilian.
Brandao, Rafael Brandao.
Rafael Brandao, yeah. Rafael Brandao is another guy.
He's not competing this year.
No, he's not competing this year. But so it just makes things even more interesting for see what happens next year. Because there's so much talent in that in body, but there's so much deep talent that
That's the thing. For everybody that you just mentioned, short of Carlos Thomas Jr. coming in shape, I don't know of any show where just think about some of the past shows. And this is only a testament to how good, the lineup is going to be at this year's Olympia. Take Sergio, for instance. Would Sergio have beaten, say, Crizzo at the Empro Classic? No,
definitely.
He wouldn't have, right? No. Would Sergio have beaten Nathan at Italy? I don't think so.
There was also several shows. There was several shows where what was the one that Hassan Mustafa?
Go with
Vancouver.
Go with Vancouver. I think Hassan would have beat him.
I don't think Hassan. Sergio lost to. He came in second to who?
I thought he came in third. Did he come in third or second?
Third or second? I don't remember.
Yeah, but I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was third.
But he just didn't come in the same condition he usually comes in.
Well, that was Cali, wasn't it? That was. It was Cali because
he was supposed to do. Yeah, he was supposed to do the Arnold Brazil.
So Ross beat him. Ross Flanagan.
Ross beat him. Antonio beat him too.
Yeah, Tonio came in second.
Tonio came in second.
Yeah, Tonio came in second. Yeah, so I mean,
that's another guy I'm excited to see what it looks like on the Olympia stage.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Sergio probably could have beat. I'd say Roman Fritz at the big man, good chance.
Right. There you go.
Good chance. Yeah. I'd give him that. Oh man, Roman is awesome. And listen, Roman deserved third place at that. I
just has to put more size on.
Yeah. I was quite
I like his personality. I'm biased.
What about Stanimal and John De La Rosa? What show did I think Stanimal beat De La Rosa, right?
That was the Vancouver.
Yeah, that was Vancouver.
That was Vancouver. So if that was Vancouver, then guys like a Carlos or guys like a Beef Stew or Sergio, they could have definitely been in that mix.
Yeah, I got second anyway.
And there was a couple of shows that were like even Tampa when Hunter won. Yeah. They could have been in that mix.
It makes you think. Do these year-long? It really does make you think now if these year-long off seasons do make that big of a difference, or if it's more beneficial to compete, deplete, and then hit a hard rebound.
I think it depends on the bodybuilder. Yeah, it all depends on the bodybuilder. Like I did not agree with Carlos Thomas Jr. going back to off season. He was maybe 5%, 10% away from winning a show, and. It's like, what do you want to work on? Like, there's nothing to work on. You have everything. You have everything. You have everything, and you just got to work on conditioning. That's all you got to do. I mean, So, but I don't. We'll see.
And that's why I excluded him from that entire conversation because he comes in shredded. He's a winner. And
nobody beats him. Yeah, he's a freak.
Not at a pro show.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but but then again, I would like to hope that his trainer, his dad. Know what's best for him. So, so we'll see what happens. And that's it. All right, gentlemen. I'm going to call it quits. I went a little long because I know I'm going to delete that first part out.
It's all good, family discussions.
Yeah. So, Mark, when you get the amino acids, you got to do an unveiling or an unboxing on your show.
Oh, we're going to be doing a little unboxing of that for sure.
All right, very cool.
Maybe a little taste test. Of course, I have my amino after my workout, right? So
perfect. You do a little taste test. All right, cool. All right, gentlemen. I'll talk to you guys very soon.
Till next time.
Peace.
Later, fellas. Later.